go to bed eating protein and vegetables and you don't have any negative feedback on your glucose levels, then a bolus dose of growth hormone before bed or a growth hormone secretagogue, whatever you prefer, can really improve sleep quality. Now, that's the last step. And of course, then, you talk about your dosages and people don't believe it. Because all the pros should be on 4, 5, 6 grams a year, right? In reality, it's not true. It could be 1,500, it could be 3,000.
Yeah, I mean, I think
different.
That's the biggest thing is I think a lot of people just attribute any type of progress to gear, where it's like I always tell people, like steroids is an accelerant, not a replacement. Like if you are doing everything else wrong, you're not sleeping, you're not eating enough, like steroids aren't going to like replace that. No. It's going to just make you probably look worse, give you side effects, make you look bloated. And it's, I mean, the amount of people that are on steroids and look like garbage just because they do that. They'll be like, okay, well, I'm on this now, so I don't really have to like train as hard or focus on my sleep because I'm on all this shit. And it's really the opposite.
So how do you manage living like a full-time bodybuilder when you have a wife, a kid, obviously a successful business, multiple revenue streams, you're working on your own app, I saw. But how do you maintain all of that? Because it's not easy. I know I'm a businessman. I have, obligations and stuff, but I still get all my meals in. I still go to the gym 5 times a week. I don't miss workouts. I don't miss injections. I don't miss supplements. I don't miss anything because it's my life. But I would like more people to incorporate this lifestyle and then get away with a lot less regarding pharmacology, because you're not a high dose guy, I know. So how do you what's your routine like during the day? How do you get everything done over the day?
Yeah, I mean, I have lots of high performing clients, busy people that I work with in a coaching capacity. I tell them it comes down to 2 things really is the skills and then the preparedness. So what I mean by that is skills is going to be, let's say, learning how to meal prep, learning how to formulate a plan that's actually going to be enjoyable for you, like when you're training, when you're eating, because in reality you don't have to eat unless you're like a competitive bodybuilder, let's say 5 or 6 times a day. You can get away with eating, let's say 3 round meals and then a couple snacks or something before bed, something like that. So the biggest thing is the skills. Number 1 is accumulating what works for you, and everybody's going to be different, right? Like for me, that is I can get my 5 usually round meals in because I'm so skilled at it now and I can do it very methodically. And then the second thing I mentioned is preparedness. So when you do have time, obviously, let's say for most people, it's on the weekend, right? If you can go get your groceries and get protein cooked and you can make like overnight oats or an oat loaf, or, I make this like big, humongous like oat loaf with, I make like, it's kind of like from Greg's cookbook, but I made my own version. But I was like canned pumpkin, applesauce, protein powder, oats, and like a bunch of other things, fresh fruit, peaches, apples, cinnamon. I've put it in this huge tray, and then
you're making me hungry now. Stop it.
Yeah, it's so good. Honestly, like people come over and they're like, I need this. I need the recipe right now. Like, give it to me, because it's almost like kind of crunchy on the outside and the inside's like super.
No, you got to stop. I'm still dieting for Mr. Olympia.
And what's amazing about it is it's super low calorie because it's very voluminous. So it has like canned pumpkin, the unsweetened applesauce. I put shredded zucchini, basically shredded carrots. So like it's got all these ingredients that you don't really they don't take over in terms of flavor, but they give it a ton of volume. Apples, peaches, things like that. And then you bake it, and it's like the whole thing is like 2,100, 2,200 calories for this entire massive thing that you could, if you tried to eat maybe a quarter of it in a sitting, you'd like feel sick. So it's like 500 calories because so
that's
volume. Yeah. And so I'll make that, twice a week. So that's like breakfast, super easy. I put Greek yogurt on the side of it. It's like takes me 3 minutes to eat. Delicious. Toss in the microwave for a minute and it comes out like perfect. So stuff like that, just like little hacks, preparedness is huge. So like what I'll do is I'll cook bulk protein. So I'll cook steak on the grilled chicken, marinate it. Takes me, and once you get the skills, so like a full meal prep, I'll put that loaf in the oven at the same time. Takes me about 70 minutes, and I basically I have rice in the rice cooker. I'll do some like sauteed vegetables at the same time in a big wok. So like I'll have tons of
You
stuff.
got a whole system for cooking set up,
So
so you
yeah,
save
so
a boatload of time, but you got multiple meals going
so
on.
then you
Yeah,
got your proteins, some veggies, some rice. You can do some roasted potatoes, some stuff on the grill, and then you literally just for a meal you'd be like, all right, let's put a little bit of ground turkey, a little bit of this, sweet potatoes, and then some of the sautéed vegetables, and you toss it in the pan or in the microwave for
right.
2 minutes, and you got a meal and you eat it, and the whole process took like 8 minutes. And so
Yeah,
whereas if you had to sit down, take out raw chicken out of the fridge, take some peppers, onions, you're talking 30 minutes later. And of course, it's going to be impractical for 90+% of people, even if you work from home. So that's what I always work on. Number one, let's accumulate the skills in terms of like finding foods that you actually like. And then number two is the preparedness of getting on top of it proactively, because retroactively you're fucked. You get into like Tuesday, you've got no food in your fridge and you're a busy person. Like realistically, you're probably gonna be eating out for the rest of the week and making bad food choices. So,
yeah,
so that's
and then of course you can order some meal prep services, right? Those are usually
also
good,
another
but
really good option for some
yeah,
people that,
but
I mean,
I would still prefer to cook your own meals, and you can get most of it done on a Sunday or Saturday, whatever you prefer.
exactly.
Again, you do your grocery shopping, you prepare all the meals, you listen to podcasts, to kind of keep yourself
Exactly.
busy. And I think in 2 or 3 hours you can prepare a week's worth of food, and then all you have to do is cook the rice in the morning because of the resistant starches. So it's
Yep.
better to prepare that first. But how much time do you need to spend on a rice cooker? I mean, come on now.
I mean, yeah,
Just,
about
just not
2 minutes to write. Two
yeah.
cups of rice, 6 cups water. You toss it in, you got your
Done.
rice for the day. So,
Done. And you can even steam vegetables in the steamer tray or make some meatballs in the steamer tray. It works very, very well. So yeah, I think that separates a lot of people from basically the winners from the losers is the meal prep.
I think the
That's
nutrition's a humongous component, and then recovery and sleep
yeah,
so undervalued with people that are trying to get in shape, especially for fat loss. It's you lose it's a metabolically speaking, how optimized you are is largely due to how you sleep, growth hormone production, thyroid optimization, insulin sensitivity. A lot of these things are highly affected from lack of recovery or just like prolonged heightened cortisol, because a lot of people don't really understand the difference between acute cortisol, like when you're training or running
right.
or doing something, a sport, versus prolonged cortisol, which is due to life stress and not getting
Yeah,
enough
lack of
sleep.
sleep. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
lack of
So,
sleep.
so those are things that people want to get the hacks of. Oh, how do I, lose fat? And you're like, okay, how's your sleep? They're like, oh, garbage. And you're like, okay, well, let's
Oh,
start
there
there
it
and then
is.
work our
Yeah,
way backwards.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, a big thing for us is like, we know our twins are going to wake up anywhere between 5:30 and 6:30, but sometimes even 5. So if we're not in bed by 9:15, 9:30, let's say we wait till 11 and they would have one of their mornings when they wake up at 5, we're in bed for 6 hours. That doesn't mean you're getting 6 hours of sleep. That means
yeah,
a little time to fall asleep. Maybe you have a couple times to pee. So you might have substantively got, based on like a tracking watch or something like this, like a Fitbit, maybe 5 hours or 5 minutes and five
yeah.
hours, 5 minutes, something like that. Whereas if, we're in bed by 9:15 and they wake up at 5:30, that's a good, what is that, 7+. And then if they
Yeah.
sleep until 6:30, then you're at 9 in bed, but you are at 8+ for actual substantive sleep.
Right.
So I think that's a big thing that people could start to understand, is sleep hygiene, getting off of blue light or blue light blockers, reading more before bed, or just like spending time with a loved one or having a phone call is usually just a much better way to than just like death scrolling Instagram or TikTok right before you fall
Hey,
asleep.
you're losing followers now. Don't do that.
I know.
Yeah, they should be. It should be scrolling.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Stay
otherwise
up
we.
at night and just rewatch my reels.
Yeah.
And just keep commenting and sharing them with your friends, and then that'll help
No,
you
exactly.
get,
No, but I
get in
agree.
the
I
best shape
agree.
of your life.
Yeah, but I agree. It's like getting quality sleep in, and then trying to optimize your sleep with, I don't know, climate control or a climate
That's a
mattress,
big
right? That
one.
can cool you down or increase the heat depending on your climate. having a little bit of
You know,
a fan.
you know your audience. You're talking to a bunch of bodybuilders who are probably sweating through their sheets every night.
Oh, we're all sweating profusely at night. You know, you are, I am, and then most of the guys who just, yeah, we just sweat a lot. It's because we're big guys and our metabolic rate is so high. So if you have climate control, whether that's on the mattress or an air conditioning or just a 0 decibel fan at the foot end of your bed, just blowing some air over you, it makes such a difference. And then you have a CPAP or an APAP machine, taking a little bit of growth hormone and melatonin before bed, right? Of course, and it doesn't have to be much. Doesn't have to be 10 IUs. Can be 2, can be 3.
Could
It's
be
already
10.
a game changer. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing 10. Uh, so I sleep like 8 hours straight, like a brick. And honestly, like not everybody can afford that. But if you want to live the bodybuilding lifestyle, I'm not against it. You know, especially if you go to bed eating protein and vegetables and you don't have any negative feedback on your glucose levels, then a bolus dose of growth hormone before bed or a growth hormone secretagogue, whatever you prefer, can really improve sleep quality. Now, that's the last step, right? First is the blinding curtains and the climate control and the CPAP and tracking your sleep quality with an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or an Oura Ring or whatever. And then if you really want to put the cherry on top, that's where the peptides come in, right? You have DSIP, delta sleep-inducing peptide, a couple other compounds. So, of course, those are not going to mitigate the bad or poor sleep hygiene. But if you have good sleep hygiene, then this can really enhance that to the next level. And then you wake up feeling super refreshed.